Before 1991 disintegration of Soviet Union, Ukraine was a part of Soviet Union. So they both have deep cultural, economic and political bonds with each other, and in many ways Ukraine is central to Russia's identity and vision for itself in the world. Russia and Ukraine have strong familial bonds that go back centuries. Kiev, which is the capital of Ukraine, is sometimes referred to as the mother of Russian cities in terms of cultural influence with Moscow and St. Petersburg. Approximately 8 million ethnic Russians were living in Ukraine as of 2001, mostly in the south and the eastern part of Ukraine. Moscow claimed a duty to protect these people as a pretext for its action in Crimea and the Donbass in 2014. After the Soviet collapse, many Russian politicians viewed that the divorce with Ukraine as a mistake of history and a threat to Russia's standing as a great power. Losing a permanent hold on Ukraine and letting it fall into the Western orbit, and it will be a major blow to Russia's international prestige. In its 3 decades of independence, Ukraine has sought to forge its own path as a sovereign state while looking to align more closely with Western institutions, including European Union and NATO. However, Kyiv struggled to balance its foreign relations and to bridge deep internal division. A more nationalist Ukrainian speaking population in western part of the country generally supported greater integration with Europe, while mostly Russian-speaking community in the east favored closer ties with Russia. During the 1990s, the dispute over the control of the Black Sea Fleet and Crimean naval facilities was source of tension between Russia and Ukraine, and in 1998 the partition treaty divided the fleet and gave Russia a naval base in Sevastopol. In 2008, Russia started giving Russian passports to the population of Crimea, which was a real problem for Ukraine. In 2009, anti-Ukrainian demonstrations were held in Crimea by ethnic Russian residents. Crimea is populated by an ethnic Russian majority and a minority of both ethnic Ukrainians and Crimean Tatars. Since then, Russia was waiting for its right opportunity to annex the Crimea. And in 2014, Russia got the opportunity and made the Crimea a part of Russia, which made the premises for Russia-Ukraine full-fledged war of today. And since 2014, Ukraine was seeking to become a member of NATO, and Russia considered it as a close threat to its sovereignty and started invasion Ukraine in 2022. On 24 February 2022, Russia invaded Ukraine in an escalation of the Russo-Ukrainian war, which began in 2014. The invasion has killed tens of thousands on both sides. Russian forces have been responsible for mass civilian casualties and for torturing captured Ukrainian soldiers. Millions of Ukrainians have been internally displaced and millions had fled the country by till now. This is the largest refugee crisis in Europe since World War II, and extensively environmental damage widely described as ecocides. The war has been contributed to food crisis worldwide. After the dissolution of Soviet Union in 1991, Ukraine and Russia maintained close ties. In 1994, Ukraine agreed to accede to the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons as a non-nuclear weapon state. Former Soviet nuclear weapons in Ukraine were removed and dismantled. In return, Russia, the United Kingdom and the United States agreed to uphold the territorial integrity or political independence of Ukraine through the Budapest Memorandum on Security Assurance. If the Ukraine had not signed such treaty and dismantled its nuclear arsenal, the situation would have been different right now. Ukraine would have not suffered that much. America's top general has estimated that 1 lakh Russian soldiers have been killed or wounded in the Ukraine, and that Ukrainians armed forces have probably suffered a similar level of casualty in the war. More than 40,000 Ukrainian civilians have been killed after being caught up in the conflict. Millions have been internally displaced and millions have been fled from the countries. Russia is known for its modern arms and equipments and critical lethal weapons. Russia using these weapons against Ukraine. At the same time, Russia also has an upper hand in intelligence gathering capability with the help of its advanced GLONASS satellite system and cyber warfare. But at the same time, Ukraine is not that much advanced as compared to Russia, and Ukraine is fighting with Soviet-era weapons like Sukhoi fighter jets, less range missile defense system. Because of this, Ukraine faced a severe disaster from Russian attacks. Russia has destroyed huge infrastructure of Ukraine. But now at this stage, Ukraine is responding to Russian attacks by using modern drones, missiles, anti-tank missiles and through intelligence. And the question arises here is that how is it possible? And of course the answer of this question is that the West is helping Ukraine against Russian attacks by each and every single possible ways. Western support for Ukraine is bringing a variety of practical military gains, while Ukraine's Western partners provides Ukraine with vital battlefield intelligence. Ukraine returns the favor by offering equally valuable intelligence on the quality and effectiveness of Russian troops, military equipments and tactics. The European Union and other Western countries imposed a swift ban against some Russian banks, which is one of the sanctions against Russia. It aimed at weakening the country's economy to end its invasion of Ukraine by hindering SWIFT financial transaction processing system. SWIFT stands for Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication. SWIFT is used by thousands of financial institutions in more than 200 countries including Russia and provide a secure messaging system to facilitate cross-border money transfer. According to the Russia National SWIFT Association, around 300 banks use SWIFT in Russia, and Russia has the second highest user base after the United States. This ban will make Russian interbank payment transactions significantly more complex, and the country's ability to trade goods and exchange currencies would be significantly reduced. The United Kingdom, the European Union, and the United States have been banning the import of diamond from Russia. Gold exports worth $15.4 billion were also banned by countries including United Kingdom and United States last year. Western nations are trying to limit Russia's access to money. The European Union, United States, United Kingdom and Canada have frozen assets of Russia's central bank in their respective countries. The United Kingdom has frozen the assets of other Russian banks and Russian firms from borrowing money. The European Union had placed limits on the amount Russia can deposit at banks. Western nations have been trying to cut Russia's income from oil and gas. The European Union stopped importing Russian coal and banned refined oil imports. The United States and United Kingdom banned all Russian oils and gas imports. Germany stopped the opening of the Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline. The European Union and G7 set a maximum price of $60 a barrel for Russian crude oil. They warned importers that insurers will not underwrite oil shipments if they pay more. More than 1,000 Russian businesses and individuals have been targeted by the United States, European Union, United Kingdom and other countries. These are oligarchs, wealthy business leaders who are thought to be close to the Kremlin. Assets belonging to President Putin and Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov have been seized. The United Kingdom has stopped the sale of golden visa, which allowed wealthy Russians to get British residency rights. At least 16 super yachts linked to Russians have been seized. More than 1,000 international companies including McDonald's, PepsiCo, H&M, Adidas have stopped working in Russia. A ban on the export of dual-use good items with both a civilian and military purpose. Ban on all Russian flights from United States, United Kingdom, European Union and Canadian airspace, and also ban on the export of luxury goods to Russia. Russia has also responded to these sanctions by banning exports of more than 200 goods from West, including telecoms, medical, vehicle, agricultural, electrical equipments and timber products. Russia is blocking interest payments to foreign holders of government bonds and banning Russian firms from paying overseas shareholders. Western leaders predicted Russia's economy would collapse after the invasion of Ukraine and first sanctions. Price rose sharply and people took their money out of banks. But the International Monetary Fund believes Russia's economy could grow by 0.7% in 2023. This is because Russia is exporting 8.3 million barrels of oil per day. According to International Energy Agency, the biggest importers are India and China. Without any external supports, it is impossible for Ukraine to sustain in war during such long time against Russia, who is power hub of weapons, modern weapon and ammunition and cyber intelligence. The Western countries is supporting Ukraine by delivering military equipment, training, intelligence, treatment of soldiers, logistical support as well as financial and humanitarian supports. In total aid, military, financial and humanitarian combined, the European Union and its countries have provided the most to Ukraine, whereas the United States has by far provided the most in military aid. M1 Abrams and T-72 battle tanks, infantry fighting vehicles, armored personnel carriers like M113s, armored medical treatment vehicles, strikers, command vehicles, mine-resistant ambush-protected vehicles like Kogars and Oshkosh, infantry mobility vehicles, and other vehicles like trucks and trailers to transport heavy equipments, armored utility truck, heavy fuel tankers, towed artillery like 155 mm M777 howitzer, self-propelled artillery like 155 mm Paladin, multiple rocket launchers like 227 mm HIMARS, surface-to-air missile systems like NAMAS batteries, MIM-23 Hawk firing units, TWQ-1 Avengers Patriot batteries, self-propelled anti-craft guns, man-portable air defense system, anti-aircraft systems, anti-tank missiles, and in other missiles, Harpoon missiles, precision-guided missiles, precision-guided munitions, AGM-88 HARMS, laser-guided rockets, RIM-7 missiles for air defense, Union Hydra-70 aircraft rocket, electronic warfare equipments for jamming the equipments, helicopters Mi-17, a number of drones like Switchblade, Phoenix Ghost, and weapon locating radars, engineering equipments like Hercules, mine clearing line charge, ship and underwater vehicles, mortars, ammunitions, military gear, chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear protective equipments, and cold weather gears. Thousands of night vision devices, surveillance systems, thermal imagery systems, optics, laser range finders, and other miscellaneous equipments. Giving training to Ukrainian troops since 2015. Till now, almost $100 billion financial aid has been given to Ukraine by America. Challenger tanks, Spartan armor, personnel carriers, mine-resistant ambush-protected vehicles, infantry mobility vehicles, towed artillery, self-propelled artillery, multiple rocket launchers, bulletproof and logistical vehicles, Stormer and Star-Streak air defense system, electronic warfare equipments, helicopters, Black Hornet and other drones, radars, anti-ship missiles, harpoons, surface-to-surface missile, anti-tank weapons, ammunition, military gears, training to Ukrainian troops, intelligence surveillance system, target acquisition and reconnaissance, and tons of financial aid has been given by United Kingdom to Ukraine. Surface-to-air missile, self-propelled anti-aircraft guns, multi-rocket launchers, laser-guided rocket system, artillery, tanks, drones, surveillance system, military clothing, anti-drone system, radars, jammers, etc. and financial aid also given to Ukraine by Germany. There are so many other countries who have been continuously supporting the Ukraine, and the name of these countries are Albania, Australia, Austria, Azerbaijan, Belgium, Bulgaria, Cambodia, Canada, Colombia, Croatia, Cyprus, Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Greece, Hungary, Iceland, Ireland, Israel, Italy, Japan, Jordan, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Montenegro, Malta, Morocco, Pakistan, including European Union and so many other countries. More than 100 multinational companies has taken action in support of Ukraine, including boycott since Feb 2022. And the first company, that is SpaceX. SpaceX activated Starlink satellite-based internet service in Ukraine and sent thousands of user terminals. It also provided power adapters for car cigarette lighters for use with the Starlink terminals, solar battery packs and generators. And the next company, that is Philip Morris International. Philip Morris International companies donated 5 lakh packs of cigarettes to the Ukrainian military. Amazon company pledged $10 million in aid using its logistics capability for supplies and cybersecurity expertise. LMG Tactical Company, who is the manufacturer of South Korean military gear, has donated bulletproof vests and ammunition pouches directly to the Ukrainian embassy in Seoul. AMMO companies pledged to donate 1 million rounds of ammunition. Vista Outdoor companies donated 1 million rounds of small caliber ammunition. X Dynamics companies donated 10 Evolve 2 Reconnaissance VTOL unmanned aerial vehicles. Caltech companies donated 400 sub-200 semi-automatic carbines to Ukraine armed forces. Kimber Arms companies donated 200 R7 Mako 9mm caliber handguns, and Baker companies donated 3 Baker Bayraktars TB2 types unmanned aerial vehicle to Ukraine. Russia has sent a diplomatic letter to the United States warning it not to supply Ukraine with any more weapons, and the United States and NATO aid to the most sensitive weapons to Ukraine were adding fuel and could bring unpredictable consequences. Russian President Putin also warned that if the West provides Ukraine with advanced multiple rocket launch systems such as M270 and the M142 HIMARS, Russia will strike at those targets that have not yet been hitting.